That's the bed that you made, that's the bed that you made, yeah. Ay, yeah, bed that you made, that's the bed that you made.
Aye, Katie, let's go.
All hell King Darius.
That's a bed that you made.
That's the bed that you made.
That's a bed that you laid.
That's the bed that you laid.
What kind of game is you playing?
What kind of game is you playing?
We go hard in the paint,
We go hard in the paint, yeah.
What the fuck is you saying?
What the fuck is you saying?
I only go where they pay.
I only go where they pay.
What kind of game is you
What
playing?
kind of game is you playing?
Ay, yeah, whoa, my shit is relevant, on topic, my melanin is popping. I'm taking skeletons out closets and making new deposits. I'm in my element, no ollies, you children popping mollies. I'm so intelligent, my honesty turned into philosophy. I go hard in the paint, the harder I play. Nigga, I'm like Harden on James, a problem to face. I don't wear my heart on my sleeve, just look in my eyes. Nigga, you can do what you need, I do what is right. I don't fucking want what you have, just look at your life. Nothing but is sacred to me, it's out of my sight. That just means it's out of my mind, it's not worth the fight. Nigga, yeah, I'm out of my mind, I'm out of my mind. Hey, you did what you did.
Yeah, you did what you did.
Give a fuck about intentions.
Don't give a fuck about intentions.
You can watch what I do.
You can watch what I do.
Just stay the fuck out my mentions.
Stay the fuck out my mentions.
That's a bed that you made.
That's the bed that you made.
That's a bed that you laid.
That's the bed that you laid.
What kind of game is you playing?
What kind of game is you playing?
We go hard in the paint,
We go hard in the paint, yeah.
What the fuck is you saying?
What the fuck is you saying?
I only go where they pay.
I only go where they pay.
What kind of game is you
What
playing?
kind of game is you playing?
We go hard in the paint,
We go hard in the paint, yeah.
That's a bed that you made.
That's the bed that you made.
That's a bed that you laid.
That's the bed that you laid.
What kind of game
What kind of game is
is you playing?
you playing?
We go hard in the paint,
We go hard in the paint, yeah.
What the fuck is you saying?
What the fuck is you saying?
I only go where they pay.
I only go where they pay. What kind of game is you playing?
We go hard in the paint,
We go hard in the paint, yeah.
All you ever wanna do is play. So let's play.
Yeah. Ay, we stay woke, but y'all sleep. Rilla mode, but y'all sheep. Out in public, she a good girl, but at the crib, she a real freak. New throne for the new king. Same kid, now my streets go. Same gang, got the cheat code. I said stay woke, we in Rilla mode. I said stay woke, Rilla mode. Stay woke, Rilla mode. I said stay woke, Rilla mode. Stay woke, Rilla mode. Yeah, ay, well, we can hold a peace or we can wage war, but I'm gonna get what I came for. Rilla gang, that's a crew name. We all graduated to the two-door. Sacred Global, that's an infrastructure. All y'all niggas like the Titanic. I'm the iceberg, talking no Zucker on the front lines, but we don't panic. Shit getting messy, got nothing to rest in. I'm tired of niggas, they front they blessings. They want my suggestion, but don't want the fee. I'm just doing me, I don't answer their questions. All this flexing, got no one to see. All this aggression, I just want some peace. Not even sure that I like it in heaven. I guess when we get there, then we gon' see. I do not understand, I do not get what you do. You only got one life, but you act like you got two. Yo, we go bigger than what you are willing to do. I run with king, but you peasants, you run with the goons. Ay, we stay woke, but y'all sleep. Rilla mode, but y'all sheep. Out in public, she a good girl, but at the crib, she a real freak. New throne for the new king. Same kid, now my streets go. Same gang, got the cheat code. I said stay woke, we in Rilla mode. I said stay woke, Rilla mode. Stay woke, Rilla mode. I said stay woke, Rilla mode. Stay woke, Rilla mode. Hey, y'all some jokers, y'all a bunch of clowns. You will not get a laugh out of me. You can talk, but you can't denounce. I live a different theology. Why I transferred to a new account? You just fucked over a prodigy. Posted up with a rented crown.
You are the king and apology.
You about to see a new side of me. I hope you know. We stand up and watch our enemy go. Empire fall, my legacy grows. I might just hop on this melody flow. All this vision, no clarity though. Y'all play a game that I bear in my soul. Ebony ivory, nobody knows. Business vasectomy, nothing can grow. Everyone promises more than they actually do.
Swolenormous.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Oh, the Daily Sleaze. Testing, 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 test, 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 testing, 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 test, 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 testing, testicles, testicles. Oh, welcome everyone to episode 1537 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular swolecast, beardcast, broadcast, gangcast, mancast, pimpcast, sleazecast, and slaycast in the realm, because when I flex, you flex. We all flex our biceps. What is going on, beaches, booshes, bustas, hustlers, and you all hoes? It's your boy, Papa Swolio, back with another episode. Welcome to the show, everyone. Hello, 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 puppets. Hello, puppets. How we doing? What's going on, sexy girl? What's going on, little lady? That's right. Tessie is rocking the hashtag brain gains. So we got a little brain gains, we got a little mental health episode going down, just because it was a little bit kind of gloomy outside. It's like hot and humid, like hot, wet ball sack today in Florida, really like gray all day. Now, if you live in Florida, you spend any time down here, you know it rains somewhere in Florida every day. Pretty much like in the summer, the Weather Channel, it's just lightning and thunderstorms every single day. That's all it is. It's just rain every day. So one of the classic sayings is, if you don't like the weather in Florida, just wait 20 minutes. But today it's relentless all day, like windy, hot, humid, ball sack weather, just really sweaty sack. So it just kind of got into my DNA today. So did some mobility stuff, did some good brain gains this morning, but I'm doing my weight training tomorrow. Today is one of those days where I need to sauna, I need to unplug, I need to think, I need to do some work, I need to just I need to get to tomorrow. Today is one of those days where I need tomorrow to come around, but today still needs to get done. So maybe you're having one of those days too. It happens. You don't have to crush every single day. Not every day is going to be like, wow, I had an amazing workout. Wow, I had a new PR. Wow. It's like, not every day you have to crush it. And I think that's where a lot of people get lost with their fitness is one of the reasons why people don't focus on recovery enough, because if you're not bleeding out the eyes, if you're not in pain, if you're not inflamed, if you're not crippled sore, then you didn't get a good workout, then you didn't do what you're supposed to do. And that's not true at all. You're not supposed to be like miserable and destroyed all the time. We got a little Papa Swole over there. Baby girl. What you doing? You licking? What you got there? What you licking? You got anything good? Anything good? What you got? No, she doesn't care. You don't want to show your face? No? So drop a comment down below. Let's get some gorillas going. Let's get this going. We got stuff to do. We still got stuff to do. So what's up, fam? What'd you smash today? What'd you do today? How's the weather where you are? Hopefully you're having some nicer weather. Hopefully you're having some kind of a summer type day and you had a good day, you had a good workout, whatever you did, it's all good as long as you're doing something today, as long as you're moving it forward, because time isn't waiting for you. It's moving forward whether you like it or not. So you got to get it done. I need it to rain in Beijing so it'll be cooler. Damn. That's from around what time is it over there? It's like 7 a.m. No, it's gotta be like 12 hours, right? 12 hours or so, 7 or 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Rain in Beijing. What kind of season is it like over there right now? I don't know what you call Beijing. What's the abbreviation? BJ? What's it like over there in BJ? Even though it's a soft J. Beijing. BJ. Do you call it a BJ? Sounds French. I went to France and I had an amazing BJ. I don't know where we're going. Where are we going with that? I don't know. I don't know where we're going with that. Let's see here. Okay. It hasn't been thundering all day. I don't know if you heard that one. That was loud. Muggy and awesome in Connecticut. Gross. I grew up there. New England, when it's muggy, is real bad because you get all the bugs. You get all the mosquitoes and stuff. Is a really swole card time? Oh, God. I didn't reset that. My bad. It's not swole card time. No. Oopsies. We're just getting... What the hell was that all about? I must have hit the wrong button. My bad. No, it's not Swole Card time. Yeah, it's like a 10-minute episode. Just skip to the end. Fuck it. My bad. Let's see here. Katerina Maximus. What a name. What a name. Like you said to me the other day, even if you do 5 minutes every day, it helps more than doing it every day. I did some extra yoga on my own, then did restorative yoga. I find that when I personally focus on 5, 10, or 20 minutes of mobility every day, just out of habit, like I said, it's part of my morning routine. Whenever I get up, it's meditation, it's yoga, and then it's coffee. It's actually water, it's hydration, then meditation. I let that water absorb a little bit, and then I go into my mobility or my yoga, and I usually do 20 minutes, but sometimes I do 10. If I really get pressed for time, I could do 5. But the fact that I'm doing it every day, the fact that it's on my mind every day as an important part of my day, I find myself doing more mobility throughout the day, and even later on in doing like another class or an express class inside Swolenormous X or another yoga flow. It's because it's technically a workout and movement and something every day already. And it just makes, and one of the important things about setting these habits are, it's not that I want to do mobility. It's not that I want to do yoga. It's that I want to be someone who practices yoga. I want to be someone who practices mobility. And in order to practice mobility or be that person and to form that identity, you have to be someone who actually does it. So the habit of doing it regularly and quantifying time and giving time for that practice every day, that's how that gets created. And that's going to lead towards just more of a generalized practice of mobility, of mindfulness, of meditation, whatever that looks like. So that's going to develop as you go through. But the most important thing is that it becomes something you do every day, whether or not it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or 20 minutes, because you're doing it daily. It becomes a daily part of who you are and what you do. And then it can grow and then expand from there. A lot of people just try to jump into the deep end. They want to like, hey, I'm going to do yoga, so I do an hour every day. You're not going to do an hour every day. That's not how you build a habit. Most people don't have that kind of time. And with a new habit, that makes it very much of a challenge to overcome. It makes it very much of a challenge to overcome. Hey, stop it. She's scratching at the door. Stop it. She'll let you out. Mama slowly got home, so she scratched at the door. She freaks out. What was I saying? It makes it more likely that you're going to flower that into more of a practice where it's going to expand. Let's see here. So it's actually really important. It's more important that you do small bits to build that habit, because if you make it something that you really have to overcome. Hold on a second. If you make it something that's really hard to overcome, if you make it something that is really hard for you to accomplish, then it's going to be something that never actually gets done. And a lot of people want to do, it sounds nice. I want to do an hour of yoga every day. That sounds nice. It sounds nice, but it's not something that can actually get built as a habit very effectively. Most often you're going to do that for 2 or 3 days, and then you're just not going to, it's not convenient enough. An hour is really hard to come by, especially for a brand new habit. It's much better to do 5 minutes, lock that down every day, stretch it to 10, stretch it to 15, stretch it to 20, then maybe stretch it to 30 or 25 and do it like that. But it's not so much the important thing that you're doing it for an hour. It's the fact that you're practicing daily. Hot as fucking California, 100. Ooh, fancy. Fancy. Let's see here. Love me some Florida weather. Used to spend every summer down there with my grandparents in Bonita Springs. Looking to move back next year. That's West Coast, right? I'll keep my Seattle weather. Oof. Ooh. You said ew cold? I'll keep my Seattle weather. Seattle weather, isn't that rainy all the time? What's the weather like in Seattle? Rainy and rioting. Rainy and fire. Rainy and pipe bombs. The Northwest is a fucking hot mess right now. Hot mess. I know that's more in Portland though, but isn't it going down in Seattle still? I guess it always is. Or always will be until logic prevails and we fucking step in and shut that shit down finally. Can we? Can we finally fucking move on? Can we quell these bullshit revolutionary nonsensical beaches? Judry, I've been watching some of the flows in the Swolex page, but I do not follow the routines. Why not? Why not? You absolutely should be. Absolutely should be. That's going to help you build those flows. You can do what you want, but it's kind of a waste to watch it and not do it. Do it. That's going to help you reinforce those flows. You'll build your own flows by doing it because you'll feel what works best for you. One of the things that you'll learn when you practice more yoga is you cannot judge a move, whether or not you like it or not, or whether it's going to be good for you. It's contextual with the actual totality of the flow from beginning to end. So definitely do the flows. But you can still build your own. Definitely build your own. I mean, definitely do it as long as you're doing it. As long as you're doing it, but definitely get that context in there. You're so bad at following. Whatever works, man. Whatever works. Whatever works. But it's funny. A lot of times when I do a yoga class or I'll do a new move or something in a new sequence, I'll do it and I'm like, at first I don't like that, or I want to work on this body part, but afterwards I'm usually, dig up something juicy. You dig up something good. You get into it and you realize, oh man, I never never felt that before. That was a real nice combination. I've judged yoga classes or yoga flows or sequences before I actually did it, or had an initial thought when I started doing a pose or a position, and then afterwards it humbled me or made me realize, wow, the reason why I hate that pose. And it's usually very common with yoga. When you hate a pose or something's really uncomfortable and you don't really get any benefit from it, or you do it and you're like, oh, that's really doesn't really feel good. You can't really get into that pose deep, or you're super tight. That's usually what you need to do the most. That's usually like one of those poses that needs your focus. So I usually try to hammer those the most. My favorite position that I'm doing a lot of every single morning is that combination of any pose that does a combination of hip extension and knee flexion. So you could really get into the hip flexors and the rectus femoris. So a lot of people that have problems with tight hips, it's not just the hip flexors, it's also the rectus femoris and the quadriceps. So the rectus femoris, for example, crosses two joints, whereas most of the other quad muscles don't cross both the knee joint and the hip joint. They just cross the knee joint. So the rectus femoris is a hip flexor too, and getting into those kneeling, lunge positions and those twist and grabs, and even the fold back poses with knees bent, those are fantastic. And that's really changed the game for me with my knees and my hips. So, love it. Love it. Angel, I hated pigeon for a while, and now I love that pose. That's a great one. I've been really tight in that pose lately, more than I usually have been. So I've been focusing on that a lot more too. Mostly when I do yoga or I do mobility stuff, I'm doing a lot more hips and stuff. Hips, hips, hips. Oh, my goodness. Let's see here. What else we got going on? The humidity in Florida does bad things to my hair. I know what you mean. It makes it so frizzy. Okay, let's see. I've seen we're supposed to type the cherries. Yeah. Michael, what up? What up? There you go. Poppin' cherries. Poppin' cherries. Am I popping cherries, fam? Come on. Where my noobs at? Anyone else? Anyone else new? Anyone else new? New to the Mancast, first timers here? Drop some cherries in the comments. Let's get into some tip, shall we? I think we shall. I think we need to. Let's get into that right now. We got some new stuff going down. Babe, just an inch. It's cold outside. It's cold outside. Now, we have, let's see here. Dun, 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 dun. Bring this up, something serious. We got some new NOC. This is on the Swolenormous channel. The other day, went into a little bit more depth. Punishing yourself with binge eating. Punishing yourself with eating foods that you know are bad for you. And when I say bad for you, knowing that they're bad for your body, where you have allergic reactions and sensitivities towards those foods, eating them because you're punishing yourself and then starving yourself. So binging and purging essentially, and using food as a punishment. This was a gentleman member of Swolenormous X, divorced, broke up with his, with his wife, but they're still living together, and was pissed off that night. You might remember that post, and ate all this ice cream and had a real rough time with that. But then is going to, punish himself by fasting for 48 hours. And I think all of us were like, bro, dude, bro, dude, like legit, stop punishing yourself with food. This is not healthy. This is what sends you down that spiral that you never get back from. So don't punish yourself with food. That's the point. Don't reward yourself with food, and don't punish yourself with food. And that's the problem with food as entertainment. That's a problem with food as, again, a punishment or a reward, entertainment reward. It's not a good system. I mean, I kind of do that in the morning with coffee, but not with food, not with necessarily like calories in that sense. It's more like a checkpoint. I like coffee. I don't need it. It's not something that's going to make me gain weight or lose weight like that, or be healthy or unhealthy. It's a checkpoint in my day. And, what this example was eating something like, let's say you're gluten intolerant, and then to punish yourself, you're miserable. So then you have like a whole pizza, and you just fucking have bloating and massive migraines, and you feel like shit. And then because you ate like crap, then you're fasting. There's fasting for 48 hours, but essentially you starve yourself for 48 hours because you're pissed off at yourself for eating that in the first place. And then you can see how that goes. You're punishing yourself, and then you're wallowing in self-pity and just misery, and don't beat yourself up, with that kind of stuff, and don't use food as a punishment. It's not healthy. But a lot of you, what's important about that post is a lot of you have experience with stuff like that. And it's rough when you end a marriage or any kind of relationship, but especially when you're still living with the person and you have these sensitive issues with food that you can relapse into. And any of you you could drop a comment down below if you've had experiences, or if you deal with bulimia or anorexia, any kind of eating disorder, eating issues or triggers. You'll know that, once you deal with that, you're never really out of the woods. It's not like, hey, I recovered from anorexia. I'm done. It's over. It's one of those things where, well, if you're an alcoholic, you're always an alcoholic. You can always slide back. If you dealt with binge eating disorder or anorexia, you might have recovered, like you're handling it. That's great. But there's always that kind of open-ended, your body is predisposed to reacting like that. You have to be vigilant, in other words, and stay on your game. That way you don't fall back into poor habits, which is something that happens very often, unfortunately, but it's something that if you're aware of it, and that's where mindfulness and mindfulness training and meditation can really come into practice, because if you are aware, if you're more mindful and you are very present, you can catch a lot of these things ahead of time. Let's see here. Amias Leo, I reward myself after my daily workout with electrolyte replacement fluids, sans sugar. Joey bag of donuts. Sometimes I do both. Joey. Sometimes I do some bulletproof earlier, and later on the fucking day, I go for some black, I like my coffee black. Like I like my bar at the bottom here. Nice marble black. Actually, black coffee, it's kind of like dark brown black coffee. I don't know, whatever. I guess coffee is inherently racist or something. How come there's no white coffee? So if you hey, how about this? How about that? If you put milk in your coffee, if you lighten your coffee, does that mean does that mean you're fueling systemic racism? Is that what that means? I don't know. Hey, I'm just thinking, I'm not even thinking outside the box. I'm thinking across the street in the next town. I'm talking from yards away. Well away from that box. I wonder when that's going to come out. People are going to get angry when someone asks for milk or something in their coffee. They're going to rage on them. Whether or not it's healthy to have milk in your coffee or not, that's another discussion, but you shouldn't be lightening your coffee. So sometimes it depends on my mood. For example, if I get up, if I'm up early and I don't, it depends on when I'm training too. If I'm training right after, bulletproof coffee and training, maybe I'll have that after. But I do like coffee as my pre. Let's see here. Nika, definitely I have a lot of intolerances and have, quote, recovered from anorexia and binge purge. The thoughts stay with you forever. As long as you're able to address those thoughts and kind of hear those voices as like, I know you. I know what you're saying. I know where you're coming from. You're a jabroni voice. You're one of those voices I don't listen to anymore. That takes a lot of awareness and practice. Oh, is it? I got to call it dark coffee? No, I'll call it black. I'll call it black coffee because it looks black. I'll call it like the way it looks. Dark coffee. No, because a dark roast, and there's a light roast and a medium roast. There's the Starbucks has one called blonde. Doesn't look blonde. You see how this is getting deep. This is getting deep, fam. You see what's going on here? You see what's going on? We're getting to the bottom of some shit here. We're uncovering this is like national treasure. I feel like I'm Nick Cage over here unearthing some deep shit. We're getting into it. Do you mean there's a hidden secret inside Starbucks coffee? In a world. Okay. Let's see here. For someone who has never drank coffee more than a handful of times, should I start? I wouldn't necessarily say you have to start. It's not like, look, it's a stimulant. It's a drug. It's just one of those. For some people, they're really sensitive to coffee. It's not something that you need to start. If anything, you could start with teas and things like that. Tea is fine too. Just make sure you're starting off with quality. You don't need to just start sucking down tons of coffee. It depends on what kind of personality you have. And before you kind of get into that kind of stuff, because it is a stimulant, I would make sure that you're getting great sleep. You don't want to, if you're someone who's very anxious, if you're someone who's already, that deals with a lot of stress, I would get that under control before you actually, because that can really add to it. Doesn't necessarily, if you're anxious or you're hyper already or stressed out, coffee ain't going to help that shit. So, as much as I love coffee and I'm, whenever someone says, should I start? It's like, yeah, it still is. It still is something that's a stimulant. So I don't necessarily like recommending it to someone unless you're drinking it already. If you're drinking already, hey, let's get yourself a better kind. Quality too. Quality with coffee. Don't just drink your, run-of-the-mill Gunch coffee. The Folgers and the big old tubs that are nasty. Some of the worst experiences that I've ever had was from coffee, digestive wise. I've told that story about the airport. Man, just blow my butthole out both ways. Bad experiences, whether it was Starbucks or Cinnabon or Dunkin' Donuts in the airport, just fire in the hole. The first day or two of my trip both ways is like that one time, never again, never since. I still haven't used it though because of COVID and all of a sudden all the, traveling and just kind of everything stopped and I have no plans to go anywhere, wherever. But I got one of those I actually bought it. I came in, I did a little unboxing that time. It was a while ago, but I have this little, not a thermos, but a cup that actually has a pour over where you could bring grounds and then you get hot coffee in the airport and you can actually make your own coffee. You just need the hot water. Unless the water makes you crap, then you're just shit out of luck. Get it? Shit out of luck? Too soon? Yow. Anyway. Coffee is amazing. The only problem is people take coffee, they drink crappy coffee, or they ruin it by adding garbage to it. And when you start adding all this shit to it, then you start getting tons of calories and sugar and sweeteners, and then it just becomes another soda. Let's see here. All right, we got, and there's tons of stuff in terms of in terms of your coffee choices. You can go on Amazon and find so many different types of coffee. Get a nice organic coffee, get single origin if you can. Just try different ones, but there's very high quality coffee that you can find on Amazon. Oh, yeah. All right, here we go. We got some more. We got extra thirsty. We got some weird shit. The same stuff. The same weird shit. Red-eyed, faced, weird-ass fucking Nico Cotto. And domestic abuse. Domestic violence, throwing shoes and slapping each other and just weird shit. And, of course, the little jizz container thing that I was mentioning in the video. I don't know if that is jizz. It might be. I'm not sure. Could be. Bioprinted chicken. So now we have KFC. Some news broke where KFC is working with a Russian lab to bioprint, like 3D print based off some cells from chicken to like manufacture chicken. But I did say in the video that, well, you can go watch it, but what was interesting about the video, it's like, well, regular KFC chicken is trash. I mean, if this is marginally better, I mean, it might be better than what they're doing now, but it's still disgusting. I'll still take my grass-fed steak instead. Pass. Hard pass on that shit. And then we got some more absolutely ridiculous nonsense. My life wouldn't be easier if I were thin. My life would be easier if this culture wasn't obsessed with oppressing me because I'm fat. The culture. Oh, the bad culture. It's the bad culture's fault. So we have this floating around the interwebs. And of course, just blame culture. Blame something vague. Blame something vague. Blame something general. It's not you. You don't have to change. It's all the culture. It's all the culture. Curious as to what your thoughts are on all these. And we got a brand new show, a brand new playlist that just dropped here on the Daily Swole. So obviously in every episode going over Swole fan posts and sharing a lot of posts, pulling some clips and some highlights from some of those excellent posts and just dropped this one. So make sure you go and check out these two, because sometimes you watch the whole episode or you watch part of it and it's a good message that can help you get some good information quickly. So check those out. And definitely, if you enjoy them, hit the thumbs up button, of course, subscribe, all that good stuff, and drop a comment, because a lot of these Swole fan posts, what's really excellent is the feedback, is the comments down below. So a lot of people might be coming and finding these posts because of the titles, because of the tags, and like, oh, I smoke cigarettes and I'm trying to quit and I'm going to the gym. How bad is it really if I'm exercising too? X, Y, and Z. So if you comment below, if you have some kind of opinion and some sort of experience with the actual post and the question and the answer, you have something to add, please do so, because it can help someone else that's coming across that video. So let's see. LA Will, oppression because she is fat. Holy damn, let her go live in a country where there's real oppression. It's getting ridiculous. That's the part that the language is really getting out of control. If you are using, when you use the term oppression, when you use the term persecute, when you use the term, like even the term racist is used poorly. Like the language, these words are so extreme that people are throwing around nowadays, especially with these kinds of movements. They're just thrown around. There are serious words. Oppression is a serious fucking word. And there are a lot of people in this world that are really, really oppressed and getting slaughtered and genocide and shit going down. But this word somehow applies to you choosing to be fat in a first world country because you don't really have any problems. You don't really have anything to complain about. You just have a lot of free time and a cell phone, so you decide to complain about some bullshit that is your fucking fault. So, smells like bullshit to me.
That's fucking bullshit.
People like that, I don't think anything will make their lives easier. LOL. I agree. These are the kinds of people that never actually change. That this kind of mentality is usually stemming from someone that doesn't want actual change. They want to complain. They want attention. They want power. They want control. They want conformity. But they don't necessarily want change, because if there is actual change, that's why there's never any solutions offered. Like, what's the solution? What's a solution? What's a solution for that? When someone comes up with this, my life wouldn't be easier if I were thin. I think it would be easier on your joints. I think it would be easier on your organs. I think it would be easier on maybe anyone that has to lift you up. I don't know if you have to be lifted up. My life would be easier if this culture, so the culture has to change. Do you know how how like, can you imagine the audacity to have the audacity to be like, the culture has to change? Jesus Christ. Really? Since when does the culture change for any one person or any one particular? If the culture wasn't obsessed, the culture is obsessed with oppressing me. The culture is obsessed because I'm fat. Because you're fat, the culture is obsessed with oppressing you. You know, there's plenty of information that can help you lose weight, that can help you change. There are plenty of books. Like, we haven't banned books yet. We haven't banned information yet. I mean, you can still get information. You're watching this right now. If you're watching my content, you have the ability to type whatever you want into Google or Bing or DuckDuckGo, whatever the fuck you want to search. You can get information. You can gather it. You can learn complex skills. Whether you sign up for a site that teaches courses, whether or not you just watch YouTube videos. I mean, how the fuck do you think? I don't know what you guys think. I don't know if you think that I went to like and got like a not medical, Jesus Christ. I don't know if you think that I went to college and got like a media degree or something. I didn't even know my iMac had iMovie 4 years ago. I actually bought like a $30 video editor because I didn't even know my Mac came with iMovie. And then when I realized that, I was like, oh shit. Oh, I didn't know there was a free one that's so much better than the piece of shit thing that I downloaded. So I didn't know anything. I was barely using my Instagram account in like 2015. So, but I learned. And every time I had a question or like, hey, how do I do that? I Googled it. Oh, hey, how do I do that? I went on YouTube. I mean, Google, YouTube, same thing in my opinion. And they're owned by the same company, but that's what I did. I didn't know something, I Googled it. Didn't know something, I went on YouTube. I watched the video. Cool. And then I knew how to do that. And then if there's something else, the next step. Well, how do I do that? Let me Google it. And then I looked it up. Okay, that's how I do that. Well, how do I do that then? If I know how to do those things, well, what's better than this? And then I Googled how to do that. I'm like, okay, cool. And then you just literally practice and you do it and you're like, oh, that sucks. So it's super simple. It's super simple if you actually apply yourself, and everyone has the same tools that I had to start. And literally the only tools that I had to start were an iPad and a Samsung Galaxy S6. And I had a computer, but I didn't have a microphone. I didn't have anything fancy. I had basic shit. I had less than what all of you have right now. The phones that we all have right now were better than what I had when I started. Like anyone else. It's just your intent and your desire to get results. Like, what are you willing to do? How hard are you willing to work? I sent out the Swole text, Kyle. I sent out 2 or 3. You should get it. I sent them out. Everyone else got them. Huh? If you're on Swole text, it was sent. And I had the delivery was 100% on my end. I don't know why you didn't get it. Katerina, I don't understand the fat positive mindset at all. They are just being bullies and bullying people like they were bullied because they are fat. It makes me mad and sad. I don't get it. Mad and sad. Don't be sad. Don't be sad, little lady. Don't be sad.
You're not making this easy on me, boy.
Don't be sad. God damn it, Bobby. Don't be sad. Well, I mean, if your Swole text is getting there late, it must be your service. If you get your Swole text late, it must be your service, because when it's delivered 100%, it still has to go to your tower. It might just maybe you just didn't receive it on your phone immediately, but yeah, they all went out. They all go out plenty before I go live. So, Josh, you got 2. There you go. Good shit. Whatever. It is what it is. That's why you got to turn on all your notifications everywhere. Nothing's perfect. Do your best. If you are comfortable in your body, great. If not, change it. Quit bitching online for attention. It's those who are making a big deal about it that feel oppressed. Well, when you look at it, it's someone's feelings. It's how someone feels relative. If you change how you feel about something, it changes the whole thing. Like, I'm not going to get offended. Well, if you're not going to get offended, then you're not offended. And it's not offensive. It's offensive if you're offended. It doesn't mean that you are happy with yourself all of a sudden. It doesn't change the reality. So you take out the language and you just like have what exists. Okay, that exists. How you feel about words. Words don't mean anything. And they mean everything, but it means the intent of the words and how you internalize that. So you have to think about what you're complaining about. And when you just sling nonsense like that, when you sling nonsense, it's nonsensical. You sling nonsense, it makes nonsense. How's that for a sentence? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I think we're all just tired of people complaining, but not providing any actual solutions. I think that's one of the issues. People love to complain and tear shit down without providing a solution. So I provide solutions. Of course, we have Swolenormous X, but you're not required to join to make it change. But it's really a matter of, are you willing to take control of your life? Are you willing to step up and do better for yourself? And most people aren't willing to do that. They don't want to put in the effort. They don't want to put in the work. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do? If they're complaining, it's like if there's no reason, don't complain and not do anything about it. These people are just complaining about what other people say when they're objective facts. Okay, if you don't like that, then either ignore it and don't internalize it. But if you're going to complain about being oppressed because of your choices, it's like, how dare you use the word oppression when some people are in this world are actually oppressed based on no choice of their own. Just go to the fucking Middle East and see what oppression looks like. All right, go to China and see what oppression looks like. That's what oppression is. That's actual oppression. That's not your make-believe little safety bubble. No, that's not your safe space. We're not talking about someone called you a naughty word. Someone was mean to you on the internets. No, we're talking about real fucking oppression. And you're using severe words to describe bullshit fucking feelings that are irrational, that are not truthful. And it's a huge problem. And it's been spreading for like 10, 20 fucking years. And we're seeing the results of that right now. That's for damn sure. People just want to complain to hear their opinion out of your mouth. Yeah, they want you to sound like them. Say what I said. Say what I said. Say what I said, boy. Say what I said, Papa. Say it. Say it. Say it. Nika, it's like these dang masks. Don't mistake inconvenience and discomfort for oppression. Well, if you're wearing a mask in public, it's just wear a fucking mask. It's very simple. If you're going to a public place, wear a mask. Stop complaining about it. Just do it. Just do it. It's not a big deal. It really is not. And just do it. Just do it. Especially if you're indoors. If you're going, like, especially, like, even outside, if you're around a large amount of people, just put on a fucking mask. Put on a mask or don't go around people. All right? Okay. All right. You can take it off when you're not around anyone, when you're outside in the sun or something like that. Just do it. People just like to complain. People do like to complain. And I believe in liberties as much as the next person. I think we have to find that new normal as quickly as possible and get things open and blah, blah, but do it safely. And you can't risk people. You can't risk health. We have to still do it the right way. It's inconsiderate. It really is inconsiderate for people that are actually at risk of getting sick and stuff. It's just smart. Here's the thing. If you wear a mask in public, it's not going to hurt you, right? Does wearing a mask hurt you? Does it hurt your feelings? No. I'm not talking about feelings. I'm just saying, does it hurt your feelings or does it hurt you? Like, it's not like if they found that wearing a mask made you like crazy sick because of whatever the fuck is going, like, let's say by wearing a mask, it got you sick, then obviously it's not a good thing. Well, you're forcing people to wear masks and masks are getting people sick, but that's not what's happening. It's not making it worse. If anything, it's making it a lot better for a lot of people. It's reducing, just do it. Just do it. Just do it. It's not like people, look, no one wants to. Does anyone want to be in isolation? Does anyone want to not be able to go anywhere? Does anyone want to have everything shut down? No, I don't think, does anyone? I don't think anyone wants that. No one wants that. So can we work together and just deal with it for now? And then if ever we can take them off, then hey, it's better now. We can take it off. Yay. We forget that we're all in this together. Legit. We're all in this together. People forget. Yeah, it becomes if you're a Democrat, you wear masks, but if you're a Republican, you don't wear masks. Like, I don't know why. It's not political at all. The virus doesn't care the virus doesn't care who you're voting for. It doesn't fucking matter. Oh my God. It doesn't matter. It doesn't care. Viruses don't care about what you watched on Netflix or something like that. Anyway. Yeah, like when I go outside, because, a mask for me is like, it doesn't really sit or whatever. So I have one of those little American flag little neck things and boop, just pull it up. And I look like, it may look like Sub-Zero and shit. I look like, what was it, from Archie or something? What was that? What cartoon was that? Where he just like wore like the head, like the fucking turtleneck all the way up? What was that from? I never really read whatever that cartoon was, but I remember seeing them in the funnies in the paper back in the day, dating myself hardcore. You know what I'm talking about. Someone knows here. You just pull it up, and then when you're not around, you pull it back down. Ooh. Oh. Crazy.
Matt Damon.
Captain Helmet, I just don't like all these 3s that look like 8s because they have masks hiding their meth teeth. That's another thing. You can't see. There's a lot of someone's attractiveness is from the eyeballs down. You take off the mask and it's like Ren and Stimpy. It zooms in like, and you see like these freaking like the teeth are like moving in like the roots. Remember those like Ren and Stimpy's had like the roots going like just.
Yow.
Gross.
Well, I'll be damned.
It's not that hard. Tara, people were protesting masks downtown in Columbus, Ohio last week. We finally just had a mask requirement mandate today, so I assume more protests to follow. It's disgusting. I don't understand these people. Protesting sounds counterintuitive and counterproductive. Doesn't sound like that's going to help the spread of things. Why would you protest wearing a mask? Why? Rules and laws are in place to protect everyone, not just your feelings. Like, laws aren't there to protect feelings. Laws are there to protect actual physical harm. Like, okay? All right? Like, we need to take care of this shit. We need police. We need very well trained police, and we need a lot of them, and a lot fucking more of them, apparently. We need law and order. People forget how many things in this country come from fucking having law and order. You're not going to be able to move shit forward and fix things and improve things if we don't have safety, like physical safety. I'm not talking about emotional safety, like, my feelings. I'm talking about you need to have that. How about this? Think about this. Do any of you have a garden? Do any of you garden? You do gardening type stuff, right? You need to have fertilized soil. You need to till the soil. It needs to be ready so people can plant seeds. You can't just throw shit in the grass and think you're going to have an amazing garden. You might have a couple things that grow, but you need to stabilize shit and have a great foundation. That way we can build stuff up. So people are just protesting every fucking thing, complaining about everything. Complaining about wearing masks. It's not for you. It's for everyone else. Maybe you're fine, but maybe you kill the next door neighbor who's 85 years old. It's like inconsiderate. We need people to understand what I see. And this is just my observation from the media that I see and from stuff I see on Twitter and podcasts and videos and the circles that I dabble in, it's just people want to tear shit down, but they don't have any real concept of what to replace it with. So it's just ripping everything down. And then it's like, you do realize that a lot of revolutions lead to much worse shit because it's all about tear it down. It's not with any kind of coherent plan of what comes next. So you burn shit to the ground and then you have like a totalitarian dictatorship step in, and yeah, it ain't gonna be better. It ain't gonna be better. That's for damn sure. So it gets pretty frightening when there's no plan and it's just revolution and it's just chaos and anarchy, and it's not good. It's not good. You have freedom freedom is conceptual, but it's also, you can't just have free just for all. You're going to have fucking Mad Max overnight. You had that. You had that already. You want just like random tribes running around looting and shooting people randomly with no law? You don't fucking want that shit. You don't fucking want that shit. It's not fun. No, you don't want your life to be a sci-fi movie. You know, one of those like what was it, like D-list actors, like No Name, like Gatorzilla, those videos on the Science or on Sci-Fi, Sharknado type things. You don't want one of those sci-fi movies coming to your neighborhood. You need law, you need order, but you need it. We just need to make it better. Let's just improve that shit. Let's make it better. Let's fix things and make it better. Let's not rip everything down. We have a great thing going. We just have to live up. We have to live up to the expectations of the founding fathers. We have to live up to the expectations of the Declaration of Independence. We have to live up to the philosophies of the United States, not burn the fucking country down. Because those principles are actually legit. We as humans just need to do better to achieve them. Like, we're not perfect. Why can't we just work on being better and actually living up to what we've been trying to? We've been progressively getting better. If you look at just look at history. We're getting better. This doesn't happen overnight. It takes generations. People are just so fucking impatient. So fucking impatient. It might take another 200 years, but fuck, we got time. Hopefully. Who knows, until someone drops a nuke, and then don't forget about that threat that's always hanging over our heads. We just kind of ignore that, just kind of shove that under the rug. Yep. And wait till the aliens show up. You never know. You never know, David. So the protests are going to lead to Mega Shark versus Octogator. You never know. You never know. It might. Why not? Why fucking not? Why wouldn't it at this point? Might as well. Shit. Might as well. Let's see here. We're not there. Well, we're not there yet. We're getting there. We're getting there. A lot of, that's what's scary about. That's what's scary about a lot of the language or the restrictions that people are throwing down. It's very dystopian. It's very 1984. It's very Orwellian with what a lot of people are saying and trying to do with language. Ever since, including the whole obesity, blocking those words and calling these words dangerous and violent and oppressive, and they're not. Words aren't violent. They don't hurt you. Stop being such a pussy. They're words. It's fine. You can have more than one word to describe something. It's important to have language. And if we start limiting the words we can use to describe things, and we can't have actual full discourse, we can't actually have conversation, we can't have education and knowledge, and we can't have discovery if we don't have words to describe these things. If we're not using free talk and free think to actually explore new avenues, if we're living with fucking tunnel vision and everyone's walking on eggshells, afraid of what to say, we can't move forward. We can't make actual change if we're afraid of talking. And you can't educate people. We can't educate people because every teacher and every instructor and every professor is so afraid of saying something slightly wrong that they're going to end up the butt end of a fucking viral tweet. They're going to get fired. I will turn this fucking podcast around. You goddamn know I will. You know I will. I will turn this shit around. So make sure you smash that like button, subscribe, bitches. Make sure. Oh, of course. I mean, a lot of that novel was very reflective of Nazi Germany too. I mean, you have new languages, words you can't say, things you can't do, things you can't read, erasing the history. That's what the extreme left is doing. That's what they're doing with science. They're protesting science, and now science is and complaining that science is systemically racist and all this fucking bullshit. The problem with that is you start discounting science and then everything is off and no one's trusting anything and no one's believing anything and you can't actually discover anything and then you're molding how science actually works and then it's feelings over facts and you're flipping the whole shit. The scientific method is anything but racist. It's about finding out the fucking truth. So, super sketch. Can you imagine? Oh, that's what they should do. That's what they should do instead of that 2 minutes or 5 minutes hate in 1984 in the novel. You should do like a 5 minutes meditation every day. It should be like a big sound that goes off, boom, and then everyone just kind of like all power shuts off for 5 minutes. No, that'd be bad. There'd be like all this like fucking looting, rape, and murder for 5 fucking minutes. Yeah, that might not work too well. There should be like a national meditation. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if you had meditation as a staple? God, can you imagine if you actually taught kids properly to live? And give them more tools? A lot of this shit wouldn't be a fucking problem instead of poisoning kids for the past generation. You didn't hear about that? You didn't check out, you didn't hear about that stuff about shut down STEM? Google it. Google it. It's bad. It's bad stuff. Bad stuff. Anyone that's discounting science, I don't care if it's left or right, but you get the picture. Well, you have everything from flat earth to, we're not going into the weeds with conspiracy stuff, but it doesn't matter who you are. That's the problem. That's the problem, is the tribal nature. And, it's one thing to have your own. That's one of the issues with following just mainstream stuff and dividing everything between a right and left line, is that you start categorizing all your thoughts and you box yourself in, and you can't have like an independent, authentic vision or an authentic idea because you box yourself into all these categories just by, hey, I'm a Democrat or I'm a Republican. Like for me personally, I like talking about an issue. If you have an issue or there's something to talk about, it's like, hey, what's the issue? Oh, this is how I feel about that. Huh. And you discuss it. I don't like to be like, oh, I'm this side or I'm that side. I don't do that. It depends on what the issue is. And then I will have my opinion based on information that I gather on that specific issue. I never liked teams in that sense. I never liked fraternities in that sense. I don't like organizations or movements. I don't subscribe to any of that shit. Religions. I don't like any of that stuff because it's a brainwashing. It's a brainwashing cult type thing. And I don't like how if you are on this team or on this side, you automatically have X, Y, and Z feelings. That's not how humans work. That's not how humans work. That's how humans will react under that kind of a structure. But people need to have their own individual opinions. You need to be able to think for your own. And most people don't. Oh, come on. Everyone knows 2 + 2 = 5. 2 + 2 = 5. Come on, big brother. They are offended. Oh, yeah. You remember that post? Do you remember that? Was that an NOC that I did? Done way too many videos. Remember that one where the teacher or the parent, remember that the parent was offended? I covered this. It might have been on the Daily Swole, but I covered this. Do you remember that the mother was upset when her daughter brought home a math problem where it talked about like a girl that needed to lose weight, or a girl that weighed this much, how much weight would she have to lose to be this amount of pounds? Do you remember that? And there was like, it showed up in the fucking news that the mother was complaining because whatever, right? It was a word problem, and it was just about body weight, and it said something, and it's like, oh my God. It was something in the last 2 years. I think it was like within like a year or so ago. There was something in the news. It was something in the news that I covered. I forget where it was. I forget if it was on the Daily Swole or an NOC. I forget where it was, but it was someone that was complaining that her daughter had homework that was not sexist, but body image, whatever type thing. It's like, oh, come on. Yeah, maybe that was it. I'm sure there's a bunch of them. It's just like, which one was fat? Look, come on. I do get it. But look, kids aren't inherently racist. They're not. You see kids, like when kids don't know, kids don't get like that. Kids are going to adapt based on their environment. That's how you're taught. That's what that nature versus nurture. There's a lot of stuff that you have to get imprinted. Your software, depends on what operating system's loaded onto your hardware. Tara, brain gains happen when we communicate with one another and actually listen. We can't evolve and grow without emptying our cup and accepting we don't know everything. That's for sure. Garrett, math hurts my taint. I'm sorry to hear that. You might want to get that looked at. That's concerning. Surah Munir, oh yeah, I remember. Just stop complaining. I am Iraqi who is a U.S. citizen now, surviving 3 wars and a civil war. I get offended when they complain about silly stuff. Good for you. Jesus. That's like, we don't have real context in the United States really about that shit. In the United States, there hasn't been anything on our soil since when? When's the last shit that was really, and I'm not talking about like the LA riots. I mean like, real war and civil war in this country, aside from the Civil War. If you think about it, in our lifetime, so people just don't have, we've had it so good. We've had it so simple. It's simple. Everyone's had it different, but in terms of just, peace within our own country, aside from 9/11. Yeah, but I know, but 9/11 was literally, 9/11 wasn't national. It was, but it was, local. It was more localized. What I mean is, 9/11's I'm not trying to belittle 9/11. I was just thinking about it from a different standpoint. Oh, yeah. Anyway. Yeah, maybe that wasn't a good... Well, sorry, so 9/11. Okay. But it wasn't a civil war. No, it wasn't... Yeah. Again, I'm not really sure where I'm going with this, but the point I was trying to make was... we haven't had 3 wars and a civil war. It wasn't like the kind of turmoil that other countries have. Like when you're having an actual civil war and the government is unstable and it's overflowing. 9/11 happened, we're attacked, but then there was obviously the response and, the ensuing, all the details and X, Y, and Z, but the country didn't fall apart. That's the way I was thinking about it. The country wasn't in ruins, like airlines shut down for a little bit, but the government was fully intact. It wasn't, a power vacuum type thing. And, a lot of these other countries, it's just, all the systems are broken. It's everyone for themselves. And there's a lot of chaos, and doesn't maintain the same type of political structure and control. So that's the way I was thinking about it, but we're getting off in the weeds here. Let's see here. Told my wife that she needs to look at my taint. Is she a doctor? She's got to be qualified. Got to be careful. Can't have some unqualified person poking around the taint. Gotta be careful. Protect yourself, boy. Katie, average Americans have no access to international travel. They do not realize the kind of privilege even our imperfect systems provide. And I think that's the assumption that everything has to be perfect, or there's that actual ability for them to be perfect. Nothing's going to be perfect. I do think that would be more of a beneficial thing for most people to have more travel and more experience with other cultures. Obviously that's harder now, but you know what I'm saying? You get more perspective when you see like, oh shit, like we have it really good. There's a reason why a lot of people want to come here. There's a reason why a lot of people still want to come here and everyone tries to come here. When I say everyone, you know what I'm talking about. A lot of people from a lot of countries come here and want to stay here. Why? Things ain't that bad. Things ain't that bad. There's a reason why they're coming. They're coming for a reason. Shay, the people I know from my trauma group agree the majority of people in the U.S. are little bitches in regards to violence and oppression. If they really felt those things, they wouldn't know what to do. I think most people wouldn't. I think it'd be a wake-up call for a lot of people. And the only thing oppressing about being overweight is gravity. Let's see here. All right. Let's see here. Let's get into some. People want to go to Canada. Nice. You could take some of them. You can take some people. Ashton, I have a theory that Common Core is in place. I don't really know much about Common Core. It's like what? Like the standard thing? God, the education system is so fucked. If I had a kid, I would never send them to school. Absolutely. Fuck no. Is in place to change how the new generation thinks, so the government can change how society functions. I think their plan is working. School is just fundamentally not designed to prepare this is the classic structure of school. Some of these like newer age schools are allowing more free play from kids and stuff like that, which is extremely important. But you have schools that are designed to create factory workers for the last 100 fucking years, but that's not the world we're living in. So what we're trying to do is, like many cases with nutrition and things, people are trying to fix something that's just inherently like flawed from the start. Like the school system is just, it's fundamentally just not structured properly. It's not designed to actually help people in today's society. It's not giving kids the tools that they need. Oh, shit. Papa's homeschooled. She is pushing open the door. What's up, baby? She pushes open the door. Like the door is closed. How'd you get in here? How'd you get in here? Come here. How'd you get in? How'd you get in here? How'd you get in here? How'd you get in here? How'd you break in? You broke in. You broke in when Daddy's live. I'm live. I'm trying to do the podcast and you break in. Say hi. Yes. Clever girl. Raptor noises. Good scene, Jurassic Park. We're already being haunted. Straight through the trees. Go. Clever girl. All right. Anyway, she's gone. She's gone. Hold on a second. Let's see here. No, not thunder. There's no thunder. I think it kind of calmed down. All right, let's see. All right, let's get into some Swole fam posts. Got some good shit going. Let's see what's up today, fam. Let's see what's up. Daily Swole beaches. Daily Swole beaches. All right, here we go. Here we go. My dog is barking at your dog. Really? How about now? Dogs usually freak out. Ben says, any tips on staying consistent? Or Ben asks, with an inconsistent working schedule. A few weeks ago, I spent a week swinging from first shift to second shift to third shift. There is no consistency in it either. It's all predicated on people randomly missing work. So any tips on staying consistent with an inconsistent schedule? It's kind of, I mean, it's kind of, you're kind of like saying, that's kind of counterintuitive, isn't it? What do you guys think? It's kind of counterintuitive. Can you be consistent with an inconsistent working schedule? Here's what I would say. Depending on what the scheduling changes are, like, I wonder if there's any type of place within your schedule that is consistent. You know what I'm saying? Like, is there ever like a little time block that never gets covered no matter what shift that you do? Is there something in there that is always like, you're never really working from 3 to 5, even if you work a morning shift and then an evening shift? Like, are you always available at a certain time? If that makes sense. If you have any like little patches that you can really be consistent, because here's what I'd recommend. Ben, I would check out the masterclass where I talked about my morning routine and how I structure it. So I would say, no matter what your schedule is, you probably have a block of time. Like, you're not going to be doing a 24-hour shift. I mean, maybe you are. But here's what you can do. Create a little habit circuit. And the way I'm thinking of it is take a habit block. For example, my habit block, or I'll just call it a habit block, is drink a big thing of water, 32 ounces or a big chug of water, right? Big thing of water when I wake up, meditation, mobility, coffee. So it might be like an hour from beginning to end, maybe 45 minutes, whatever. So let's say it's this. Let's say your habit thing is this. Let me just, for example, let's say it was water, meditation, a little mobility and stretching, coffee, and then a workout, and then and then a shower. Let's say that was that habit block. That needs to fit somewhere in your day. Now, whether or not it's a resistance workout or a yoga session, you just need like that little block, that little square that can adjust. So I think the difference is trying to be consistent with the same shit every day with the same amount of time, rather than are you doing your daily tasks every day? And that might look like, hey, maybe you have a major like overload of shifts. So you're only doing a 5-minute brain gains, you're doing a 5-minute mobility, and then maybe you're doing like a 30-minute or a swollen 7. So you're doing 5, 5, 7. So it's like a 20, 30-minute routine, but you could find that on any day, for example. So maybe that's more of a recovery day. You have a stressful work day, but you still got your habits in. So I think as long as you are taking that little habit block and then like this, you're doing one of these, like you're adjusting it. Maybe it's a 20-minute, and then an hour, or maybe it's 5, 5, and 5, or 5, 5, and 7. So at least you are taking that box, that stack of habits, and you're still executing them. You're just adjusting the length of that. So that's what I do with my morning routine. If I wake up late or I'm really busy or something happens, I do a 5-minute meditation. I'll do a 5-minute mobility, and then maybe I come back to it later, but no matter what, I still got my habit. I still did my shit. It just looked a little bit different that day. So if you have thoughts on this, you can drop a comment down below. That's a good question, and that depends. It's hard for me to really like give some thoughts without like more depth up to like that. I need the actual times, because a first shift, third shift, like how long are the shifts? I know what you mean. Third shift is an overnight shift, but what does that look like? Is that 7 to 7? Is that like a 12 to 6? Is that, 10 to 4? I don't know. Like every job is different. I don't know what you're doing. So it's more about creating your own bubble and changing your idea of what consistency is, because if your schedule is inherently inconsistent or random, you still need to create that. Imagine like this. I use this example as with Mama Swolio yesterday. Be like a buoy, right? So you're a buoy anchored to the bottom of the ocean, and the waves are going to go up, but the buoy is just going to go like this, right? So the buoy's not moving. It's anchored down, but it's still weathering the storm. So even if the waves are really high, the buoy is going up and then it's going down, but it's not really moving. Maybe a little bit of an adjustment, but you're keeping that eye on the prize. You're keeping focused on that bullseye. Is just kind of looking a little bit different. It's getting like larger and smaller. You're just kind of focusing a little bit different, but you're still hammering away at the same thing. So this one's from Holly. Hey there, Swole fam. I know I'm lucky to have made it this far into COVID with a job, but my workplace is permanently closing its doors unless I move to an area I'm not interested in all by myself in the coming months. Do any of you have any tips to stay on track when shit hits the fan? I've barely eaten today as a stress response, broke down, and had a few drinks during the day. I'm supposed to do cardio and some lifting tomorrow, so I'm looking for advice to keep at it when I really don't want to. Thanks in advance. Well, because there's really no other option. Just like the example, just use Holly. You could be a buoy. You still have to weather the storm, and kind of make it an excuse, barely eating as a stress response. I mean, it's all about being anti-fragile, right? It's all about weathering the storm. It's all about adapting to the situation. It's not always easy, but a lot of people are in the same situation, but you shouldn't be punishing yourself for what you can't control. And I think that's one of the hardest parts and the hardest things that's going on right now with the quarantine and with employment and things like that is it's not in your control. You can't control what the virus does. You can't control what the governor requires. You can't control. And even if your place of work is letting people go, I mean, a business can't keep employees if there's no money coming in. So if there's no customers and there's no business, it's not really the company's fault per se. It's not that you think a company wants to let go of employees. If they're letting go of employees, a lot of times it's because profits are down, or, people aren't letting go of employees now because of a good thing. They're trying to stay afloat. And, bottom line, a business is only a business if it's profitable. A business is only a business if it's creating, if it's staying afloat. I shouldn't say profitable, but you know what I'm saying? Like the business has to be making money. So if you have 30 employees and you're barely having any customers, like you got to take it down, downsize as much as you can to stay afloat, and then make it to the point where it has to close its doors permanently, like you said. So, I mean, it sounds like you have choices. If you're not willing to go, then you can maybe, hard to say what you're asking. I mean, there might be some other thoughts in terms of like where you can use your skills, transferring to some online positions or freelancing, depends on what you're doing. I know it's kind of vague. You didn't really specify what you do, but there's definitely options. I mean, there's definitely opportunities now. As much as COVID is fucking everyone's world up, there still are a lot of opportunities to do stuff digitally. You can leverage your skills on Upwork or Fiverr. You can learn graphic design. If you have a phone, you can start doing some stuff, social media management. You can learn tasks and skills, small things, and start really low as like a new seller or a new account. And, you could write blogs or articles or, help someone with posts or, website copy and stuff like that. Like you can, if you're a writer, if you're digitally inclined and stuff like that, and there's always skills you can learn, but it depends on, what you're willing to do and what you're willing to put in. But there's definitely opportunities. One thing that you don't want to do is start punishing yourself with your health. And that's something that you should stay focused with. So brain gains, so fitting today, but brain gains will help you sift through and work through a bunch of stuff, maybe some free time to free think, maybe going for a walk and just thinking things through. Making lists is great, like pros and cons, and see like maybe if it's how, when you're talking about moving to an area you're not interested in, like what the pros and cons of actually making that kind of adjustment is, if it's really necessary. Sometimes things look like a bad situation until you look back and realize, oh, this is a great thing that happened because I wouldn't have found this opportunity. So what might seem like a shitty situation now might actually lead to something more positive down the road. So there could be some light at the end of the tunnel here. I think there is. But, whether you want to or not, you still have to do it. Are you going to just let everything go? I think it comes down to what you can control. And if you're stressing and you're internalizing it like that to punish yourself by, having a couple of drinks, all right. I mean, it's in the past, you did that, but you don't really want to work out. But then you're letting this situation, what you can't control, affect what you can control. And that's where it starts to really eat away. So you can control what you do physically. You can control how you take care of your health. You can control whether you meditate more. You can control whether or not you do yoga. You can control whether or not you put in the effort to learn a new skill or to adjust your your business or your work to, expand digitally, for example, you're in control of those things. So a lot of it is just a matter of, are you willing to leverage the other time that you have to work on the things that you can control? It's not necessarily an easy answer. So anyone else's thoughts, happy to share while we're here. Justin, I lost my job due to COVID and I used the opportunity to go to school for non-destructive testing. What is that? What's non-destructive testing? These tests do not destroy anything. These are tests that are reinforced. What does that mean? Non-destructive testing. Is that like a skill? Is that something that's like categorized? Is that like construction type stuff? I'm curious. Annika, work loves me. It sucks the others see I'm not losing hours while they are, but it's my main income at the moment with one of my jobs still closed. Let's see here. We're too much up in our own head all the time and time passes different in there. Being present is super important. I love brain gains because otherwise I cannot focus well easily. Yeah, everything kind of gets really distorted when you live too much up in this area. You want to clean it out. Clean that shit out. Radiography and other methods. Nice. Good for you. Ultrasonic wave testing. Got it. Got it. That's a tough one. Usually comes back to brain gains. It really does. Usually comes back to that. Usually comes back to, it can help you. It can help you work through a lot of things. Oops. What the hell did I do here? Oopsies. All right. Mariana. Hey fam. Just wanted to give you all a little update on my progress. I am finally in the 200s. Heyo. Finally in the 200s. I like it. I'm finally in the 200s. I have been vegan for the last 3 years, but a month and a half ago, I went WFPBNO. Is that a thing? Please tell me you just made that up, Mariana. Please tell me you just made that up. Come on, please. If any of you have heard of that before, I'm not talking shit about Mariana at all, but if any of you have heard that before, please tell me so I can punch myself in the dick. Whole foods, plant-based, no oil. That's one acronym I am not getting behind. I really hope that's not a thing. I hope you made that up, Mariana, in which case, respect. So far, I have a feeling that's a real thing. Oh, I'm about to punch myself in the dick, aren't I? So far, I've lost 10 pounds since then. I have also been walking way more and doing 100 squats and 20 push-ups every day. Next month, I plan on adding cycling to the mix. I am so happy that the scale has finally started moving again. It's been a year since it actually moved. I also took Papa's advice and removed a lot of the negative people and things out of my life. There you go. There you go. There you go. Which has given me so much more peace and focus. I hope you're all well and crushing it. Good for you, Mariana. Fucking getting after it. Good stuff.
Yow. Yow.
Sounds like you're not going to be having that KFC fake chicken because no oil. The next vegan movement right there. Whole foods, plant-based, no oil. Mariana, I love you. I hate that acronym. I am angry at that. I'm angry at that acronym. I'm angry. That got me fired up. I'm super stoked at your progress, and there's nothing wrong with what you're doing. I just don't like that acronym. No, don't say that. Don't say it's real. Don't say it's real. No. Don't say it's real. Please don't say it's real. That can't be real. That cannot be real. That cannot be something that exists in this world. Why wouldn't it be, though? Oh, God. Oh, God. Forks over knives is a WFPBNO. My head, man. Ah, my fucking head.
Matt Damon.
Jesus Christ.
Sometimes I guess there just aren't enough rocks.
WFP. I thought you were gonna say you were entering like the WFBF. I thought you were competing like bodybuilding or something. Or it's like a new wrestling organization or some shit. Oh God. If there isn't an acronym for fucking everything. But good for you, Mariana. Respect. All right, we got some more juice. Kayla to the main stage. Kayla to the main stage. Diamond to the champagne room. Hey all, come on, I live in Miami. Come on, you know how it is. It's my backup job. I'm just practicing, staying warm, staying loose. I wonder what strip clubs are up to. It's got to be a COVID cesspool. Those poles, though. Can you imagine strippers butt-ass naked, wearing masks? Hey all, I'm posting again this week to ask a question. How do y'all deal with days when body pain forces you to rest? How do you stay positive? I spent this weekend moving furniture and now my lower back is incredibly sore. Normally, I want to do yoga, practice ballet poses, something, but I'm stuck in a fetal position on the couch for the time being. Holy shit. I have trouble feeling motivated to eat healthy since eating energizing foods often makes me want to get up and go. And I know that what my back really needs is just to stay put for a couple days. So my urge to temporarily satisfy my palate with fatty foods is heightened. I'm sure a well-planned out diet despite my bed rest will at least make my brain feel awake and ready to journal or do something else that would benefit my mindset. It's unfortunate that I also have to be careful with mixing my antidepressants with certain pain medication. I kind of have to pick and choose a lack of motivation versus a lack of pain for the day. Any advice or personal experience with this? Can't wait to get back into the workout game. This is a tough one. So you're still taking antidepressants with pain medication. What's going on with your back? Like, why are you on pain medication? Because you were moving furniture. Like, did you have pain medication that was just left over and you're taking? Like, that stuff's really fucking, like, I don't know what you're taking. You didn't get specific, but pain meds are really fucking heavy and really serious. Because you're talking about you hurt your back, yeah, you should go see a doctor. But unfortunately, a lot of doctors are just going to write you a prescription. Maybe you did, which is why you have pain meds. I'm not going to tell you to not take them if it's prescribed, because obviously I ain't a doctor. I ain't no Dr. Swolio, but that's just frustrating. It's frustrating when people deal with medication like that. I'm sure some of you have personal experience with those meds. I personally don't with myself. So I'll be speaking for what I've seen from other members and clients and people that I know. I mean, obviously you're aware that you have to be careful mixing. I don't know if you're supposed to at all. I mean, as long as you're following doctor's orders there. I'm curious as to what the sequence is of this. So you're moving furniture and now your lower back is incredibly sore or injured. Like, I mean, it's hard for me to really answer because you say, I mean, it's incredibly sore. I've been incredibly sore, but I've never taken a pain med for it. So like you're in bed and you can't move. That's not incredibly sore. Like something's fucked up there. And that begs the question, like why would your lower back get injured? It wasn't strong. It's like fundamentally your structure wasn't able to support your form, or the way you've been training needs to improve to support your lower back. You're stuck in a fetal position on the couch. How do you all deal with days when body pain forces you to rest? I mean, foam rolling, yoga, sauna. I mean, like very rarely have I been laid up like that. Even when I've like, tweaked my hamstring and stuff in the past, like I still tried to do stuff or mobilize it or do like Epsom salt baths and things like that. I mean, of course, if you can't move, of course, look, you can get injured. You can get injured and really not be able to move. I'm not saying you're making it up or like, oh, come on, you can move, do yoga. I'm definitely not saying that. It just sounds like you're putting Band-Aids on something it's not going to solve the problem. Like just laying there and all of a sudden it goes away and the pain goes away. You're not fixing what scar tissue or inflammation or what caused the injury to happen in the first place. Plus you're deactivating all the muscles surrounding it. So there's no guarantee that it won't happen even worse the next time or happen again in a couple days, or now your knee gets hurt because your hips haven't been, activated properly. So now your patella and your knee is less stable in the actual, the femur and the pelvis. So you have an instability there, which makes it more likely to have a knee injury or, it can lead to something else. Neck pain, shoulder pain, itchy nose. So let's see here. Let's see. Patrick, Kayla, it sounds like you really injured your back. Go see a doctor and have it checked out. If you're taking meds, I would get a second opinion. Mixing pain and antidepressants is bad. Let's see here. Annika, I try to avoid pills, so lotions and heat patches are my go-to when I know it's a mechanical muscle chain issue. And if that doesn't help with 72 hours, I book my osteo. Let's see here. Justin, I strained my back pretty bad a couple years ago, and my doctor gave me yoga exercises and pain meds. So, I mean, the consensus obviously go see your doctor if you haven't already. I mean, this is a tough one because since you have prescription meds already, you've obviously gotten them from somewhere, assuming you've gotten them from a medical professional. That really limits like what I'm going to say to you, because obviously you have legally a medical professional's opinion, but you can get a second opinion. I don't know. It sounds like you're just living on this. I would love to see this problem. I would love to see you or hear about you doing something that's actually fixing the source of the issue. What it sounds like is it's just you're resting and then it's going to get covered up. Like antidepressants, pain meds, it's kind of hard to have inspiration and motivation through that fog, because you're literally consuming chemicals that maybe are helping you, hopefully. But also it's not necessarily under your control when you're adding those things into your system. Sounds like there's a lot of stuff that's got to come into consideration here that, of course, that I don't have all the information for and not qualified to really recommend. I can't prescribe you anything, of course. Let's see here. Lidocaine patches can be prescribed. That might be an option. Yeah, that's some topical stuff. That's going to numb it a little bit. That doesn't solve the problem. It doesn't solve the problem. What's up, Eric? Never got a notification. Oh, come on. You on Swole text? I've been sending out Swole text. What's going on today? Is it the weather? The weather? What's going on with Swole text? What's going on with that shit? What's going on? Some people aren't getting that stuff? Maybe. Seems like sometimes people have issues with the internet. Who knows? Who knows what happens? Once I send it out, no fucking idea. Once I send it out, no idea. Oh, I know that. Now we're talking about strip clubs. Joan, actually polls get wiped down. I know they get wiped down. You see, well, I remember you see these dudes, these young guys coming out, jumping up and then sliding it down with the rag. And it's like, well, they don't go all the way up to the top. What if the ones that go up there, those are dirty areas of the pole. You got to go all the way up to the ceiling. But they go ham in Florida or in Miami, in South Florida, and all Florida. There's no, you don't need pasties. You could have, I remember that was the weirdest thing. That was the weirdest thing when I went out to LA like a long time ago. It's like if a strip club had alcohol, there was no nudity. And if there was nudity, there was no alcohol. It was the weirdest thing. It was like, this is weird. We went someplace and it was like, why is everyone wearing clothes? It's like, oh, you can't have both in the same. It's like, what? Coming from Miami, South Florida, and just other areas, like, oh, there's no laws in Florida. No laws. All bets are off. Fuck Comcast, especially if they're blocking my Swole texts. I know. You didn't get a notification? What's going on here? I came back to stripper convo. Yeah, we're talking about titties. Why not? Speaking of titties, look at that sexy beach. Hashtag brain gains. Let's give away some Swole card action, shall we? And I'll let you all go enjoy some extra thirsty, enjoy some Swole fam clips, all that stuff right here on the Daily Swole. Let's give this beach away, shall we? Sounds like everyone needs to make some brain gains today, am I right? It's like the perfect hashtag. Sounds like a lot of brain gains going around. Scrolling. Let's make some brain gains, man. Let's see what we got here. Almost. No. None. Did I miss that one? Wait. Where was it? No, I missed it. Hold on, I saw that one. No, another one. Sorry. Thought I landed on one, but I wasn't. Justin, no hashtag. Josh, no hashtag. No hashtag. 0 for 3? I'm coming back on the screen here. 0 for 3. No kidding. All right. Hold on a second. All right. Come on, Tessie. Let's do this right. Let me get you a good one. I'm scrolling back down. I'm going back down to the new ones. Keep dropping it. Keep dropping that hashtag. Maybe I'll get down to the bottom. Short. Do a short one. Maybe. There we go. Congratulations. I knew I'd find someone eventually. Congratulations, dear. Thank you so much for playing. So for you, May, if it's your first Swole card, send us an email. Everyone say congratulations, May, in the comments. If it's your first Swole card, drop us an email to support@swolenormous.com with Swole card 1537 in the subject and your mailing address in the body of the email, and we'll get you this Swole card. Congratulations, May. Congratulations. Everyone say congratulations. Come on. Say congratulations, everyone. Congratulations. Now your turn, fam. Now your turn. Your turn, you beaches.
Come on, stop whining.
Come on, don't complain. Don't complain just because he didn't win today. Congratulations, May. Send us that email and we'll send you that Swole card. So, Tessie, sexy Tessie not included. So, fam, we'll be here tomorrow for the Thursday cast episode of 1530. What today's was 1538, right? Did it say 1537 up here the whole time? I think it was 38. I think I fucked that up. It says 1538 on the card. Let me see what's going on here. Did I have 1537? Yeah, it is 1538. Whatever. Yeah, it's 1538. Yeah. Yeah, I must have not changed the numbers and stuff. It was a hot mess. At the beginning of this episode, it said 1537. Whatever. It's 1538. You see what happens sometimes? Does it matter? Really? Does it matter? Anyway, yesterday's episode, 15, that's what just... Surprised no one mentioned that at the beginning. It really doesn't even matter. Anyway, yesterday's episode is actually live. So the podcast, I just realized it wasn't up yet. So yesterday's episode is up. So if you missed it and you want to listen to it, it's available. And today, 1538, which it was apparently at the end, caught it. It's 1538. Tomorrow's will be 1539. So I will change that immediately. I don't even know what episode it is. It's today. It's today's episode. That's all that matters. We'll forget it. We'll forget about it in a day. We won't even remember it tomorrow. We'll be better. We'll be better. I'll be a little bit more on. I'll be on point tomorrow. Today's one of those days. All right, fam. Thank you so much for joining me for episode 1538 of the most muscular Swolecast, Beercast, Broadcast, Gaincast, Mancast, Pimpcast, Sleazecast, and Slaycast in the realm. Because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. Go get your pump on. Go do some brain gains. Go enjoy. And I'll see you all tomorrow for 1539. Peace, McGee's. Deuce Magoose, ya boy Papa Swolio. Out. See you later, fam.
Crazy flow, need a straight jacket. Cash flow, I'm a bank addict. 6 subs, had the bass smacking. 808, had the place clapping. 3 girls is enough for me, so I pull out like the stock crashing. Like an IPO, trying to purchase me. This a private sector, so you can't have it. Faking all that boom bapping. Who you think you is, boy? 90s want they sound back, so I give rap all these fake rappers as I take matters in my own hands. I don't need rapping, I don't need Zans. I don't need help, I'm a grown man. Now they king left and they so mad, it's like...
Then yeah, I found that young king with my crown at 10 racks in the fanny pack, couple hundred in the Louis bag.
That's a bed that you made. That's a bed that you made. That's a bed that you laid. That's a bed that you laid. What kind of game is you playing? We go hard in the paint you. What the fuck is you saying? I only go where they pay. What kind of game is you playing? Yeah, whoa, my shit is relevant. Our topic, my melanin is popping. I'm taking skeletons on closets and making new deposits. I'm in my element, no ollies, you children.